Yeah, welcome to Roadmap Live. So, as Fergus has been recorded, so this is Autotrader UK's product and tech podcast. And today we're chatting to my guest to the left. Yeah, left. So we got Alison Ross, Chief People and Culture Officer, as well as many other random titles and things she does. And we've got a special guest in Matt Holmes. Matt is director at Akin, not Akin, a local design agency who design globally, and is a recent addition to the Hill People, which is what we're called for everybody that lives in the wonderful valley of Rosendale. So welcome, Matt. So tonight's chat is all about First Street. So obviously it's been a long goodbye over the last, I don't know, since we announced we're moving.
Yeah, I think we've been underway, seriously thinking about our options. Yeah, probably for the last couple of years, but before that, 5 or 6 years, working out where we were going to go after here.
Yeah, so you might think, well, why have we got Matt here? Well, Matt was part of the original design team that were part of the move to First Street. So we are going to do a magical mystery tour, taking ourselves winding back to 2012 or even earlier, when I think I first joined, and the rumours were, we're moving to Manchester, we're in Newton-le-Willers. And then our interim CEO at the time, I'm not going to name check, just in case, walked in, announced to the company, we're not moving to Manchester, but if you want to make it better, there's some money for some plants. So that was the inspirational speech. But then we did actually...
It was a different time.
...move to Manchester. So
we did.
We're going to go back to 2012.
2011, 2012. Yeah, 2012 probably, yeah.
So what was the actual decision to, one, to move to First Street, or maybe even to move to Manchester? Was it a done deal?
No, it very much wasn't. So so we were based in Newton-le-Willers. That's where tech were, but we were also in a fair few other locations in the northwest. We had a couple of offices in Warrington, and when I joined Autotrader, there were actually 42 offices around the UK. So we were never in one place. We were always all over the place. Tech was in Newton-le-Willers. That was by that point the biggest, most important bit, probably, certainly in terms of revenue. And it was an office of the old school. I think it's fair to say, mismatched furniture, broken everything. Everyone in small offices. I had a corner office. It was lovely, except it looked out onto a field that got sprayed with sewage all the time, so less good. And it was very much part of how we thought about offices and buildings and property. Was very much part of our publishing heritage. We had noticed that recruiting tech people into Newton-le-Willers was getting increasingly difficult. There was no way really to get there on public transport. You had to drive. It was a bit miserable. So I would say probably the majority of people that worked there because it was near to their house. Nothing wrong in that, but it's not exactly like the best employer branding you've ever had for a tech company. Particularly difficult to get early careers type people because typically don't have a car. So tech had started to think, yeah, we probably need to move. But as you said, it wasn't the... What was definitely the case with our property strategy was it was all very cheap. We owned a lot of buildings. It was, really, really cost effective. And I would say our sort of leadership at the time just didn't see, so different to today, just didn't see the value in like having a nice office. It was literally just somewhere you turned up and you did your job. It was just a cost. When we got a new CEO with Trevor, he thought very differently, and he absolutely understood that if we were going to turn into a digital company and for that to really mean something, we had to all be in one place. Product and tech and everybody else that was in the northwest had to be in one place, and that actually that building needed to say something about us, and it needed to be an attractive place to work. Absolutely revolutionary. I thought, this will be good. But I was minding my own business, and then one day phoned up and said, "Oh, do you want to lead it?" It's like, yes, which turned out to be great, and I really enjoyed the process. But we were moving hundreds of people from Warrington to somewhere else, so that there was quite a lot of staff consultation and that kind of thing that had to go on. So initially, we were looking in Liverpool and Manchester. We could have gone to either place, as Warrington was equidistant between those two places. But really, we were, I would say, pretending to look in Liverpool. from a sort of staff relations perspective, it was important to look like we were going to, you know, try and do a good process to find somewhere that was, you know, convenient for more people. But the reality was, even 13, 14 years ago, it was apparent that Manchester was shooting ahead of all the other cities in the Northwest in terms of being the place for tech. It's surpassed Leeds. Liverpool was going nowhere, and we wanted to go somewhere where the talent was. That was the most important thing. So we started looking in Manchester and got down to a short list of a couple of buildings, of which this was one.
And so when did you join the party then, Matt?
So I remember we pitched for. So my boss took me into to his office and said, we're probably not going to win this, but I'll pay you to work the weekend. And you know,
was it double time?
Why not? No, sadly not. But there was dominoes involved and stuff like that. And he said, "Take my laptop home," and it was smaller than that one. It was like one of these kind of really, really thick, chunky ones.
Yeah, like a Dell or something. Those Dells.
And he said, "Take my laptop home. Like, just do what you can over the weekend. We'll meet 7 o'clock on Monday morning. Get the team together." And I literally just spent all weekend sketching stuff out, and we came up with this pitch of like the big boss was very scary, and he sat down. He's like, "What have you got? Is it too stupid to crane cars into the building?" And he went, "At this point, why not? We'll do it." And so that was really what started it. And then we went and pitched it, and Alison, everybody was sat there, and we had a little fly-through model, and it was very exciting. And
why was the pitch so last minute? Can you remember? It was that us? Is it the
yeah?
I
think so. Yeah.
Was it Ali Personal?
It was Alison.
Yeah, personally. So we didn't know what we were doing. To be fair, we had this idea that we wanted somewhere nice. So I think we probably randomly did a tender process of randomly phoning up a few.
Yeah, what are you doing on Monday morning?
Yeah, it must have been.
Yeah.
I remember the meeting. I remember the meeting clearly, and we got another couple of local design and build type agencies that we'd used before for some of our other buildings to come in. And I think I'm fairly sure you went last.
Yeah.
And I was sat there thinking, oh no, this is not it. Getting increasingly underwhelmed.
What, with the previous tender?
I can remember it now. Like, it was fine.
So we were the last
fine.
resort,
You were last.
basically.
Yeah. And then I remember feeling so relieved when you started going through your designs, and it's like, oh yeah, there's something here. There's a spark here. It's a bit different. It's not going to feel like anywhere else in Manchester. Because it's funny. It's funny looking back, because we did go, like, I cannot stress to you how shit those offices were. And yet somehow...
I thought they were all right, because I worked in a port.
I
worked in a porter cabin.
Yeah.
And then turned up in Newton, it's like, there's indoor toilets.
Yeah. but you do remember Northwest, bars on windows.
Oh, yeah.
And that was Catherine Street.
Yeah.
That was a converted...
Asbestos in the ceilings.
That was a converted factory. Yeah. Like, it was not that converted, to be fair. So, like, they were pretty rubbish. But I don't know, somehow we had a lot of ambition when we wanted to. We got
So did you
right
see,
up ourselves, to be honest.
So did you come and visit the building before you pitched? Did you know? Because obviously this used to be, it was the gasworks, wasn't it? Then it was a council building. So was it all around the actual building, the pitch, or what was the pitch, or was it just your Autotrader? This is what we could do?
I think we'd chosen the building by this point.
I remember though looking at spinning fields where it was 3 or 4 years ahead.
Yeah.
In terms of being established, and we looked at that, but I think it was this building that we planned.
No, so I do know what happened there. I just can't remember to what extent we picked you or picked the building. So we 3 buildings, because actually at that time in Manchester, it's not like there was a lot of choice actually.
Yeah.
And we decided we wanted, I don't know why we decided this, but we wanted really big floors, really, really big floors. So the 3 options were 1 Piccadilly, which people were very keen on, because they'd be able to come up from London and it would be right there. And we were more London-centric probably than we are, well, certainly than we are now. So that was popular, but the floors weren't contiguous. It was like, 8, 9, 6, something like that. So not really great. This one, which at this time was just in the middle of it was just destruction all around. There was nothing. Home wasn't built. There was none of the other things, certainly not the towers out the back. It was just one building in a mess, really. So you had to really think ahead on that one. And we had like a working group. of people from all different parts of the business. And everybody loved spinning fields. Everybody loved spinning fields because it felt just really swanky and posh and like loads of, you know, it was all banks and financial services, and it just felt really great. But yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. And I spent weeks just just like chipping away at everybody. That wasn't the right place for us, that this was the right place for us, because it just felt more like us. Because home, you know, they had the pitch about it was going to have this arts centre, and I don't know, it just felt more like it felt more like jeans and t-shirt digital than, you know, suits financial services. It just felt more like us, and I think it worked out well.
Yeah, no, it was an amazing choice, wasn't it?
Yeah. And was it like from an interior, like a design perspective? Was it? I know you said you went right out there with the cars. I mean, was that like you were going compared to what your normal projects were like? Was this very different for you and your org?
It was light years away from the general stuff that we were designing at the time. And you know, I was always lobbing these ideas in, and they were never ever accepted. Until
let's just put a car, get on the crane, and then swing it in the building.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then it was you, I think, that really was started to say yes to stuff, and I was like, hang on a minute, so could we?
Is she bonkers?
Could we do that? She's like, yeah.
How many cars do you want to bring in?
The best thing, even the stuff that she said no to at the beginning, she said yes in the end, and so we were doing stuff that Was there anything
suggested by the employees that you went, absolutely not? Because I think I got interviewed, you know, I think it was at Catherine Street. Like, what would you like to see in the new office? I can't remember what I said. It was something ridiculous. But were there things that, like, the org at the time were asking for, where you were going, even with your design out there, that is bonkers and there's no way we'll go there?
There was a period of the initial pitch, and then there's a long period, as you say, of going around everybody, like interviewing and the kind of grown-up stuff, really, which was, right, what do you need to do what do you need for your job? And then that kind of amalgamated with some more even crazier ideas as we were going on. And so we never really got to a point where we're going, these guys are too far out for us. It was always kind of a nice synergy. And it's nice to hear that from people.
Yeah, I think, it was. I mean, people did say dog crash and gym and, you know, all of that. People said all of those things. But...
Slides.
Well, so I was going to say, office design then, like, I suppose like the googly office had just become a bit of a thing. Yeah. So lots of people said about slides. It's weird to imagine now that slides were so popular. So there was a lot of...
they're not now?
There was a lot of talk about slides. People did talk about slides. People wanted... like beanbags, slides, Nerf guns, which I still am not really sure what a Nerf gun is. Also, and I remember like meeting after meeting going, we're not doing slides and we're not doing beanbags because women wear skirts. Like both of it was office design, that sort of, it was still, it would not be like this now, but tech office design was like very, we would say bro now, wouldn't we? It's like, you know, a lot of beers and a lot of pool. And we did a few of those things, but in order, and again, I'm embarrassed about this now, to sort of counteract the sort of the boy things we did, we put in a room for women to get their nails done. But it was actually...
Have we still got that?
It was actually quite popular for a number of years. I think we turned it into a first aid room.
But it's still a nail salon.
We had a lady come in and do nails for a good few years. So we were trying, but we did put in a prayer room, for instance, and that's not something that we would have considered in Newton Le Willows. So we did try to think about the things that were changing, and even from then we were starting to think about what does it take to be more inclusive, to be a more welcoming environment for everyone. I mean, the way we think about that now is like so much more sophisticated. But we did know then that we were trying to create a different type of environment that was welcoming for everybody. No Nerf guns.
I think you're right that Google thing was the precedent.
Yeah.
And that's just what people were saying. If it's a cool office, it's got to have a slide, a ball pit, that kind of thing. Yeah. Ball pit. Which actually now I'm going to use that from now on. But
is that what's going to be in Circle Square and get
a massive ball pit?
But there was that list of top 10 ideas, because we did a survey, didn't we? And it was bring your pet on a Friday, Nerf guns, beer.
Beer.
And it was like people are going to be turning up to the concierge drunk with a chinchilla under their arm, like a Nerf gun, and it's going to get out of hand. But yeah, it grew up, and it's a lot.
I mean, we were trying to persuade people to do a big commute, though, right? So that was difficult for people. For I mean, it's different now when we look at the postcodes where everybody lives. Most people do live round and about central Manchester, but that wasn't the case for many years. So we have to make this office environment absolutely brilliant, because people, when they come in, they make the effort to do their commute, when really probably previously the office was very local to them, maybe 10 minutes. Now you've got to do an hour and 10 minutes. So we were going out of our way to make it like amazing when you got here. One of the things we did, I'm fairly sure this was your innovation, was at Newton Willows, all our sites, because they were loads of offices, there was loads of walls, and we had gone on our kind of agile journey very early as a tech company. So cards on walls, Gantt charts on walls, everything on walls. In the new office, no walls, because we were going completely open plan. So you did solve that, didn't you?
Yeah, so we did a few different iterations, didn't we? We even spoke to a company, I remember doing that company in France that tried to pitch like an online post-it board. And we just
that's right, which actually in the end we did do, but
that'll never take off.
Yeah, it took COVID for that one. Yeah.
And then the solution was that we built pods in the centre, because obviously in here everything's glass. We built pods in the centre, which were the meeting rooms, and then we coated everything in a writable paint. Yeah. So every little surface, and I think we did one version of it, and then it was, even when it was finished, it was like, no, we need the bits in between the windows as well.
There was definitely a couple of rooms that we forgot, because me and Benny's up there, I think we were doing like a people review, and I'm writing on the wall. Yeah. I'm not going to say what I wrote, but then realised it wasn't writable. And then spent the next about half an hour trying to scrub it off. So there was like secret bits of walls that were definitely unfortunately missed. But
that was my bad.
The writable walls were an absolute sensation. Absolute sensation.
There was even, didn't we do one that was magnetic and writable? There was one wall that...
Yeah, that was very expensive. And
so we only experimented with one wall with that.
But what we did do, we went lockers, hot desking, no stuff. No pet, and we'd come from a world where people had their own desk, pedestals, their own waste bin, and that way of working was like very ingrained. And that was, we definitely had to bring people on a journey with that. Yeah. It was very unpopular, I think, to start off with, but I think we mitigated it by saying, oh, well, it's not complete free-for-all, it's hot desking within team areas. So teams did very much personalise their own area. There was lots and lots of stuff on walls. But then, come COVID, even that disappeared.
Yeah.
But then the footprint of as Alison said, that what you had at the previous office, it was a huge desk, storage, bins, everything else, and the footprint even now is
so much shit,
shrunk down so much. It's so much more agile across, not just Autotrader, but other.
And is there anything like, I'm just trying to think of, because obviously we moved in 2014. And even now, we've had iterations of the office. So, and there is things that have lived, and definitely from the original, but there's things that... Was there anything that instantly, within like a year, you're like, that's not working? Like those glass pods with the sliding doors.
Flappy yellow plastic things.
I think we like those.
What were they?
Still got... No, they've gone.
No, they've gone, yeah.
Were those the ones where you go into the changing room, you think?
It's like a meat packing, like...
I like those.
That was a bit weird.
Yeah. I like those.
Because they were sort of semi-translucent, weren't they? And if you were getting changed behind it, which I thought was normal.
That was the idea.
And then I realised it wasn't that normal.
No, it was, simply a coat area. Although
it's when people open the thing and I'm like, I'm naked. No, it wasn't.
People did used to hang their towels to dry.
It's just one way.
It's massive.
Yeah.
I would say, and I think this is, we still fight about this a bit now for the new office, is like occasional bits of furniture. You've got desks, you've got meeting rooms. What, frankly, designers and certainly furniture companies always want to do is like sell you on breakout spaces. And many times we've tried to do versions of sort of wall-less breakout spaces, and people never sit in them. We spent thousands of pounds on like sofas that, I swear to God, in 5 years I never saw a single bum on, I don't know. People don't like it, do they? People do want to be enclosed for their meetings. I think we've had to accept that.
Yeah, no, 100%. But and that's the thing. There was in the first iteration, there was pieces of furniture that were just there to fill space.
Yeah.
I think, and that was a lesson learned for the next version.
Yeah.
Because I mean, now even looking like the colours, because I was thinking about it the other day, like that. Well, I think me and Kes sat in an area that was bright blue for a little bit, and then there was the bright yellow and that really horrible pink. So like, even as
was that
all you?
Yeah.
Right. Because one of them was like the Salford bins, weren't it? You know, like if you
yeah.
live in Salford, your bins are all pink. So when was it like? Because obviously we changed that. So was that like at the time they were? Because when we first moved in, you were like, look at this, it's amazing. But is that the kind of thing that ages quite quickly, like the colours and things like that, or moves on quite quickly?
I think it does.
Yeah, I think
it did.
I think it does.
I remember going through with the team all of the different colours and then all the secondary and third colours that went with each area. And at the time it seemed great, and then a couple of years on, maybe a year on, it started to. And so when we came back, it was like, right, let's strip all of this, and just make it a little bit more muted. And there were no plants in the first one either. Biophilia came in like massively as well.
Yes, no, I was against plants. Because of, I'm still slightly plant sceptical, because of your thing about Newton. Like, I just think there's something about bad offices where I know how we'll make it better. Sad, yucca, however you say them, in a aluminium pot. Awful. I think plants are sometimes the easy way out. That's what I think, Matt.
I mean,
although clearly these are beautiful. Clearly these are beautiful that we've got behind us today.
I was going to say though, like you might have banned plants, but I think we did have like random birds in the office at one point. I don't think that was. I don't know if you remember that one where an ex-employee, we were like, "What is that chirping noise? That's a weird noise." And they'd found a baby bird that had been like broken its wing, but they were keeping it in a shoebox in the locker.
In the locker.
So there is bits like you might have banned plants, but animals were getting in.
Yeah, I forgot to not do pet rescue in my.
So then, just thinking again, original building. So ski lodge, we were talking on this before. It was a bit mad, with the revolving James Bond stuff. So.
Oh yeah.
So was that again, Matt? How responsible were you for? Because that seemed like a bonkers space. Did ski lodge?
Because of the way the building was shaped, and then the central, like the atrium, and then we put obviously the columns and the pods. We created this it was in plan. It was like a butterfly. So you had these corner rooms that some were like stand up kind of areas. Some were rooms, and the end ski lodge was that kind of board exec area, but I don't know where the ski thing came from. I genuinely can't remember.
It was a sort of James. It was supposed to be a James Bondy thing,
like some sort of lair, because didn't like the lights and the roof used to lower.
So that's right. We had the big picture came up for the television behind it. I'd completely forgotten about that.
I photoshopped it because I took the Jaguar into the middle of this painting that I ripped off from somewhere, and did that with put a signpost with.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
But it became a bit infamous for there was rumours about ski lodge. I'm not going to go into the details.
Those rumours were true.
They were true.
Yes, we had to get that door locked. We had to put access control on ski lodge.
There's a few
for
things
weekend
like
and evening activity.
So people, it happened more than once when the building was less secure than it is now, that people go on a night out and maybe not make it all the way home.
Just come in and have a
Come in, do a bit of a travel lodge. Ski lodge, similar. And yes, sometimes we do believe that inappropriate sexual activity took place in that.
I was going to say, because I drove that Jaguar before we stripped.
I thought you were going to say I was one of the people that came back.
Sorry about that. But that Jaguar's interior is pristine, and there are some very questionable. It's velour, and it's not coming out. So yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, it was a different time.
Yeah. So obviously, long goodbye. And now this moving to Circle Square. So are there any, again, probably from a design perspective, so what are the big things that have moved on? Because obviously me and Ali were chatting around hybrid, when we opened First Street, or First Street, and then it was Tony Wilson Place.
Yeah.
What it was called, number one, is everyone's in 5 days a week. Yeah. And all of a sudden, we shut the offices for N number of months.
Yeah.
and then people
refitted,
yeah.
and we did a big refit.
So it has the whole interior office working space sort of industry totally changed and what people are expecting now. So is it influencing massively? I haven't been to Circle Square yet. I've asked for invites, but I'm not being allowed to go over. Is it going to be very different?
Many things are secret. And
right. Oh, okay. So I can't ask these questions.
Well, you know, you've got a podcast, Pete. You might talk about my secrets.
Well, we'll just make sure we don't release it until, and nobody in here is going to say anything. But like, so on a serious note, so has that changed from your industry? Has it changed hybrid working? Has that changed massively how you approach work environments?
Yeah, massively. It's less, as you're saying, about, it's probably gone, this is like the third kind of version of workstation and where people work is that, you know, Newtley Willows was very much big corner desk. Here was a bit more bench desk, but still quite territorial. Now it's very much like you've got supportive environments to do whatever you want to do in it, and the desk is almost a secondary thing.
And so we have not gone this way, but do you think occupiers are trying to? So with hybrid working, there's a lot of, I would say there's a fair bit of conspiracy theory really around how people think about employers trying to get people back into the office, and really it's just because they've got these big buildings out there that they're paying rent on. But actually occupiers are really trying to get density and occupancy, you know, to a much different ratio than what we would have worked with prior to COVID. I mean, certainly that's the advice we got. We've ignored that advice, but it's certainly the advice we got.
Yeah, I think that the human connection aspect of working was massively underestimated, and it was the death of the office. Everything was dying, and I think people are now want to come back, and I think that is starting to build, and yeah, hence. You know,
so if you were advising a new client, would you suggest that they need a desk for every person, or what's the industry standard now?
I think now, as you say, I think the hybrid thing has taught people that we can successfully, you know, work from home still, and it doesn't have to be. So we're doing a project at the moment in Liverpool, and that is very much that it's kind of 3 days a week, but people cross over, and it's you know, probably reduce 10-20% of what they need to have in terms of physical workstations, and people want that. They want the space that those leave make way for things like focus booths and things that they actually will use and use for collaborating, meeting, work, and it's a much more relaxed. It's not.
And is that like a global thing, or is that like a UK thing?
I don't know. I think certainly like America, I know when we've done things out there has been, they're kind of 10, 12, 15 years behind us. So
are they?
Yeah, some of the people that we spoke to, you get like the bigger kind of the LA and the San Francisco kind of conurbations where they are, you know, some big practices that are like ahead. But I do think that generally people, so we did Doc Martens in Portland, and people that we spoke to there, the design people, they were all architects, were like, right, what's happening? Can you just tell us the trends? Can you help us with stuff? So yeah, I mean that was post-COVID. I don't know how things are now.
Yeah. And if this was like in terms of your career, Matt, like a really exciting project, I know you've joined and are helping out Circle Square now as well. Like, is it like another revolution without revealing secrets? Obviously, like, is it as exciting or more exciting, or like how does that stack in terms of like the work that's going on at Circle Square?
It's beautiful. It is beautiful. It is that next. Like I think I can't remember who said or who was in the room, but it was like almost like that next evolution, that growing up of Autotrader. You know, moving from 4 or 5 offices to here to then, you know, to Circle Square. It's stunning.
Yeah,
absolutely beautiful.
And is there, obviously we picked this location, like how important is, I don't know, I think we talked about this a bit, Ali, but moving that, it's close, but it's more feels more in the uni sciencey bit. Is that an important
I mean, again,
element?
we didn't have loads of choice, so our first consideration was, are we going to stay in this building and just take another floor? And we did work with the landlord here, but it didn't feel like that was going to be right for us because the infrastructure of this building is aging a little bit. So we decided we were going to go out. And again, we ended up with a short list. And really, though, because we want so much space, I mean, we're going into a 100,000 square foot, isn't it? I think
120.
120. Anyway, that's big, isn't it?
It's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot. That'll be one of the biggest, for sure, the biggest property deal that would have been done in Manchester. But even by UK standards, that's pretty big. So we didn't have loads of options, but we did have a few. And the fact that it's only 5 minutes around the corner, it's a quick walk, that it does help us because it makes it easy. And
was that like one of the
transition for everyone?
The constraints or parameters you wanted to keep with?
Not necessarily. One of the other buildings that was very much in the running is actually more Victoria Square, and Bank of New York have taken that building now. I think the one I'm thinking of probably just was not going to be big enough over time for us. And then the other one was right in the middle of town. I mean, Manchester isn't, it's not that big a city, is it? You can walk one side to the other in 25 minutes. But the kind of ethos behind the Circle Square development does feel right for us. It is tech focused. Our neighbours are companies that are quite a lot like ours. They've thought a lot about the built environment. It's a good estate.
Yeah.
Quality of the building is good. I think they're going to be good landlords for us. So it feels absolutely right.
Yeah.
Was it harder than the first time you were looking, or was it easier?
Yeah, because we know a lot more now. We know a lot more about what works and what doesn't work, and actually we're very sure about what Autotrader's identity in the city is, I think. And again, we did look at the St Michael's development, for instance, the Gary Neville one. And really, it was just pitched in a way that it's beautiful building, but it was pitched in a way that just doesn't feel like us. They were in the sort of pitch meeting, which was Gary. They were talking about, the Michelin star restaurant that they were going to have on the top floor and the 5-star hotel. And that's, we're more of a Greg's organisation, I think, in many ways, and I'm proud of that. I think that's right. Like no one was going to be popping up there for their lunch. So I don't think so anyway.
Well, yeah, no, definitely not. I'm just trying to think, what did I have for
I
lunch
went past
today?
the other day and there was Lamborghinis outside and it's nice.
I was just waiting for food alert and nothing came up. I was gutted. So what are there any things from, I know we're not going to raise the building to the ground, even though I think some people did suggest it. It's bonfire night and are we going to burn First Street down? It's not yet. I don't know who said that. Put your hand up. No. So what is there any particular things that we've got now that we're definitely going to have an equivalent over there, or will it feel just so different again?
It will feel very similar in many ways. Because we've invested continuously in this building. We didn't just do 11 years ago.
Yeah, I think if it was still pink walls and those gaudy yellow, I think we'd be like, whoa.
It was, it was pink. That's Kirsten. But we've refreshed it. We've refreshed it several times. And we're going, on a very basic level, we're using the same desk supplies because those desks are excellent. Yeah. They're boring, but, they're excellent. Cable management's great. The way you can scoop, the legs are recessed. They're great desks. So, and there's only so much you can do with a big floor of desks.
Yeah.
But we are improving the monitor arms because that is continuous feedback that we've had from this building. So it's things like that. At the end of the day, what you want is for people to be able to go in and have a really good productive day's work, particularly when we're in a hybrid environment whereby time in the office has to count double than what it did, I think, probably prior to COVID. So those things, we've put a lot of much more thought into what it actually takes to have a really good working day, and we're taking all the lessons that we've learned from here. So we do need more focus booths, places that you can work on your own, quiet space, but many, many more meeting rooms. We've thought about the AV, all that type of thing. Yeah. So I would say you'll be able to, it will feel like an Autotrader office, and we're definitely on a continuum. There are some nice bits, definitely.
Really nice.
But I think when we move from Newton to here, revolution.
Yeah.
This is more grown-up evolution.
Yeah, but will there be, without revealing it, will there be 2026's version of the cars, like something that you go, whoa?
I'm absolutely not going to discuss that.
I was hoping, like, give Matt a couple of beers and he'd be like, yeah. And then we'd see the mute.
Not sat this close to Alison. No.
I'm confident that it will feel. People will know we've opened a new office. That is what I think. Like, yeah. It will get a bit of coverage.
Yeah,
we'll get
it. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a few nice bits.
Awesome. Okay, I mean, those are the eyes for do not ask any more questions. So that was brilliant. Cheers for that. And thanks for coming in along, Matt. I know we haven't met before, but hopefully we'll bump into each other up in tills, as they call it.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's a wrap for this particular podcast. So big thanks again to Ali and Matt, and obviously yourselves for sitting there patiently and laughing at the right places. So for those who are watching it on one of our many channels, please remember to like and subscribe on YouTube and hit the notification button so you never miss another episode, and follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Hopefully see you again soon.
Thanks, Pete.